Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mandy. Rice is one of the most important foods in the Chinese food system. And of course, it plays a very important role in the Chinese culture. The rice is also taken into the hanzi system. So that's why in today's video, we're going to talk about the rice radical. Now let's get the 田字格 ready and the pens ready. First of all, let's take a look at the rice character. Mi is the rice character. Just to be careful, there's another character which is quite similar to the rice, which is mu. And we just talked about it in the wood radical videos. And this is the wood character. Okay, you see the mi have two dots on the top and the mu, no dots. Okay, and here is the evolution for the mi and the mu. You can see they're evolved from different things. To make the mi characters into a radical, we have to make it skinny. Make it skinny and put it on the left side. Very good. So this is the rice radical. Okay, now let's get to some example. First of all, the rice radical is related to food, because rice can be made into different type of food. For example, the first one, fen. Fen meaning powder. Okay, let's see. At the right side of the fen, this one, 这个是分. So you see fen is served as a sound radical. And the fen itself, it means to split. So if you bring the meaning to the fen, I think it kind of makes sense, because the rice to be split and you can make it the powder, right? Makes sense? Okay, so now let's get to some example. If you grind the rice and then you can have the rice powder. Mi fen. Mi fen. Rice powder. And if you grind the wheat, and then you will get mian fen. Mian fen. That's the flour. Together is the flour, wheat powder. Here's a very little tricky things, because if you only take the fen out, just the fen itself, just the fen itself, it could also mean rice noodle. Or let's put it simple, it's the white noodle. For example, there's a very popular food in China is 牛肉粉. 牛肉粉 which is beef meat. So beef rice noodle. Another tricky thing is if you take the mian outside by itself, just the mian. Itself, it could also means noodle, but to be more specific, it's the wheat noodle, or let's say yellow noodle. For example, a very popular Asian food, chao mian. Chao is to fried. To be more specific, it has to be stir fry. It's not pan fry, deep fry, or other type of frying. It has to be stir fried. Okay, 炒面. So it's the fried noodle. Okay, I know it's quite tricky because the 粉 itself, it could mean powder, and you can have 米粉, rice powder, or 面粉, flour. But if you just take the 粉 out, it could also mean rice noodle, like in 牛肉粉. If you take the 面 out, it could mean wheat noodle, like we have in 炒面. Basically, there is flour and the noodle. The flours can make the noodle. And you will know it refers to the powder or the noodle based on the context. Just like you understand people refers to flour or flour based on the context. Okay, now let me give you more example with the 粉 as a powder. Nine 粉 奶 milk 粉 powder. So 奶粉 milk powder. Easy. The next one. 辣 椒 粉 辣椒 chili 粉 powder 辣椒粉 chili powder. Now let's get to the next character. We have 糕 糕 is a cake. For example, 蛋糕 蛋 egg 糕 cake. 蛋糕 is very specific. It's the egg cake. So, is there any other cake? Yeah, we can have mi 糕 mi is rice, 糕 is cake. This is a Chinese traditional rice cake. It was steamed rice cake, not baked cake. And more example, you can say 糕点 糕点 is pastry, just the pastry in general. Speaking of pastry, I have another word I would like to introduce to you. That would be 点 心. 点心 is just dessert. Okay, so 糕点 is pastry, 点心 is dessert. They are pretty close. And in English, actually, there's a very specific name for some Chinese dessert, and that is dim sum. And these English words is actually a borrowed word from Cantonese. Back to like 200 years ago, a lot of Cantonese moved to other countries and they opened restaurants over there and they serve some classic traditional Cantonese dessert. In Cantonese, we call them dim sum. So to translate the Cantonese sound dim sum into English, and then they made it just dim sum. Moving on, the next character. Tang. Tang is sugar. Rice radical is food related, right? So sugar is, kind of a food. Sugar can be made from wheat. And let's get to some word. We can say tang guo. Tang guo is candy. And very literal, tang is the sugar, guo is the fruit, right? But together, tang guo is candy. Candy is sweet, but if you take too much candy, then it's not really good for your health, especially not good for your blood sugar. So, blood sugar. 血 糖 血 blood 糖 sugar 血糖 is blood sugar, and if you cannot control your blood sugar, then you might get diabetes, right? So diabetes. 糖 尿 病 糖 is sugar, and 尿, let's check it out. The 尿 is a inside-outside structure, and the outside part is this. And we just talked about it a few videos ago, and this is the dead body radical. Yeah, a dead body radical plus 水, the water. The dead body radical is related to body weight. So the body weight plus water make pee. Okay? So 尿 over here, this one, it means pee. And as for the 病, also, it's an inside-outside structure. And we have the outside part, this one, we also talked about it a few videos ago. It's the sickness radical. And the 病 is disease. Yeah, so sugar, P, disease. Altogether, it makes diabetes. And here I want to introduce you a Chinese idiom with the sugar. Tang, yi, pao, dan. Okay, this is a kind of interesting word to talk about. Tang is the sugar. Yi is the clothes. Pao, you can see on the left side of the pao, here is a fire radical. Okay, so it has something to do with the fire, and the pao would be the bomb. And dan, actually together, pao dan is the bomb. Okay, so let's put it all together. Tang yi pao dan, sugar, clothes, bomb. So it means sugar coated bomb. It means good at the outside, bad inside. Okay, what does that mean? Now I'm gonna offer you a pretty long sentence to explain it. Be ready. We can say 他表面上对你很关心，干嘛？十计实际上想骗你的钱 ，OK, period. 这是他的糖 泡 蛋 finish. Okay, it's pretty long. Let's see what does it mean. Okay, and first of all, 他 he 表面上表面 surface 上 on, so 表面上 on the surface. 对 is to 你 you 很 very 关心 care. Okay, so together 他表面上对你很关心 so he on the surface very care for you. Next one, 实际上实际 is fact, actual. 上 on, so 实际上 actually. 想 see there's a hard radical right here. 想 is want. 骗 lie. 你的 your. 钱 see a metal radical right here. Money. Okay, altogether 实际上想骗你的钱 actually want to lie your money, like to scam your money. Continue. 这是 this is 他的 his. 糖衣炮弹 finally the keywords here. 糖衣炮弹 the sugar coated bomb. Okay, yeah, now I hope you understand what does it mean for 糖衣炮弹. So it's something good at the outside but really bad inside. Let's continue. The next character, yeah, I know this character looks kind of funny and we will talk about that later. This is 粥. 粥 means porridge. Okay, now let's take a good look at the 粥. You will see we put the rice radical in the middle, and on the left and on the right, it's the same thing. Just to write it again, to show you how to write it, we write this, and then, okay, so it's 1, 2, 3. 3 of them. Just don't write it like this for one stroke. Okay, I know this is pretty simple and easy, but if you are going to take a test, if you are going to be really serious about writing hanzi, then let's follow the standard. And if you're not going to take a test, you're just having fun writing this, yeah, and it's up to you. You can write it like this. But just don't tell any other Chinese I told you that you can do with this. Okay, let's get to some word. The porridge, if it's plain porridge with nothing inside, just rice, and that would be bai, 粥 白粥 白, the literal meaning of 白 is white, but here the 白 means plain, just nothing inside. 粥 is porridge. So 白粥 is the plain porridge, have nothing inside. I guess in the Western culture, you don't eat that much of plain porridge. Maybe you eat the other one. 燕 麦 粥 燕麦 oats, and 粥 is the porridge. So 燕麦粥 together, it could make the oat meal. Okay, now let's continue and let's get to some really Chinese traditional food. Not sure if it's helpful for you, but it's kind of a Chinese traditional stuff. Okay, the first one is nuo. 米 糯米 it's a very specific type of rice. It's the sticky rice. And because it's sticky, so people can use sticky rice to make many different food and shape it in different style. And one of the most important stuff made of sticky rice is the sticky rice dumplings, which is zongzi. Zongzi. You can call it just its pinyin name, zongzi, or you can call it sticky rice dumpling. It's a traditional food for the Dragon Boat festivals. That's pretty much about the Chinese traditional food. Now let's get to the new category, the category 2. The rice radical can be also related to some other words, and they are pretty abstract. Yeah, because I cannot categorize them, so I would just say the other words. Okay, the first one. Li. Li is the measure word for rice or beans or just any other very small things. It should be really, really small. For example, we can say 一粒米 一粒米 is just one rice. That's it. And you can say 一粒豆 Okay, 一粒 is just one. 豆 is bean. Any bean. Or you can say 一粒沙 沙 This is one. Sha is the sand, because we know sand are very, very small. Move on to the next character. Cu. Cu, it means rough or raw. Because, wait a minute, why is it related to the rice radical? Like, my understanding of it is that back in the ancient time when we harvest the rice, you have to sort out the rice into different levels based on the qualities. For example, like class A, very good quality, class B is okay qualities, class C is bad quality, okay? So the bad one, they are rough and raw. So that's why we have the rice radical in here. And let's get to some word. We can say粗, cao. 粗糙 is just rough. For example, you can say 粗糙的皮肤。粗糙的皮肤 skin. So, and the is the adjective marker here. It's a grammar particle. 粗糙的皮肤 it's rough skin, not the smooth skin. Or you can say 粗糙的表面表面 surface. So 粗糙的表面 just a rough surface. Moving on to the last character we are going to talk about today, which is the opposite of 粗. Jing. So we just mentioned that 粗 is rough and raw, so 精 is the opposite, exquisite. So here is the class A's rice, right? Now we have 精细精细 it's very exquisite or delicate. For example, you can say 精细的工艺 the adjective marker, the grammar particle, and 工艺 the craft. Okay, and if you refers to the product and 工艺品工艺品 the craft product. So 精细的工艺品 is the delicate craft product. And we have another word, 精致 精致 is also exquisite. And 精致 you can say 精致的生活生活 life like exquisite life 精致的生活 So you can see the 精细 usually refers to the craft or technique, and 精致 usually refers to the life or a personality. And since it's exquisite, and we can have 精通精通 So we can see the 通 we have a walk radical here. We just mentioned about it in the walking and movement radical videos. So it has something to do with moving, right? And the 通 means through, like pass through. And 精 is exquisite. So let's say it's also very detailed. So you know every details through the whole process. And 精通 could means very good at something or just excel at something. Let me give you a sentence. You can say 他精通英语汉语和法语 OK 他 he 精通 excel at 英语 English 汉语 Chinese 和 and 法语 French. And let me show you the very last word for today. That is 精神精神 It means spirit. Why is the spirit? Okay, my understanding for the 精神 is that if you eat enough rice, you eat enough food, and then you would have good spirit. Yeah, I hope it makes sense to you. So we can say 他的 精神很好。他的精神很好 ，so literally 他的 her 精神 spirit 很好 very good. So which means she has good spirit. She has a lot of energy. If it's not good, then you can replace the 好 to the 差。差 is bad. 她的精神很差。Her spirit was very bad. So she doesn't have much energy. Maybe she's sick, lying on the bed, something like that. That's it for the 精神. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoy it and you learned something about the rice radical. If you have any thought or idea about today's video, please feel free to share it in the comment section. And if you want the practice sheet, you can download it from my website. I'm Mandy. I'll see you in the next video.